Thank you guys for having me speak today, or just I came and I saw this Ops Inspiration Day, and I saw inspiration with Daniel Kim. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I got my story. What's that again?
Inspired.
I'm gonna try. I try to do it every day at my office, and it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But I think the best thing I have, like, I just wrote down a bunch of new things because I have how I got to where what we've been able to build. But when I think of inspiration, when I think of vision, and I think about how to get from X's and O's and numbers and stuff like that into really building a culture and a business, it's completely different. So I was talking to Will. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You guys are BCGDV. You guys are extremely smart, brilliant, and some of the brightest minds in the world. So I don't think I'm really gonna be able to talk about any books or philosophies or strategies that you guys don't already know. So I think the best thing I have is my humble story, and maybe like a little bit of a perspective from a Korean kid from Irvine, my family that immigrated to America. So I'll just give you kind of like a little rundown of who I am. So that's me. That's my little 7-year-old boy right there. I love him to death. He's the joy of my life. And it's funny, is like when I first started my so this was all a different thing, and I was like, yeah, I'll put this thing together, whatever. But I'm like, you know what? If I really want to talk about what inspires me and really what gets me going with business, it's right here. So I'm glad I put this picture up because my wife, she's like my sail. She helps me get to where I need to go, and she's kind of the rock and the force behind a lot of my passion and drive. Like, I'm kind of the jump, let's go crazy, and she's like, hey, you're gonna hurt us. You gotta slow down, Daniel. So, she's pretty much my greatest counsel, and she's wise. She's 5 years older. I call her, she's the OC, original cougar. so I met her when I was 25. She was 30, and I'm very lucky to have met a very wise woman, and she's spiritually sound, mentally sound. She's very experienced. Her background is in finance, and she was actually at IndyMac Bank, and she was doing trading and stuff like that. And she talked to me about A paper mortgages and all these. And I'm like, okay, great, I do website stuff, But it was kind of cool to have, I think in my life, just a very steady force as I was venturing into my entrepreneurship. And once I had my son, everything changed. And maybe I'll kind of talk a little bit about that. So I started my business in 2002. I was an intern at Interscope Records. I went to college. I'm actually, I don't know if you guys know, I'm Elijah's brother, Elijah Kim. I don't know if you know him, but we look very different. He's like the skinny, like good-looking one. I'm like the, I don't know what they call me, but
the good-looking one.
Yeah, thank you. So him and I are brothers, and like my parents, they immigrated from Korea. My dad was from like a real poor family, or a farm village, real tiny. Like, I remember, those stories like, oh yeah, I had to walk like 20 miles to school. I was like, yeah, whatever, right? And then I actually went over there, and we were at the school, and we were driving back to their house, and it was like 5-minute drive, 10-minute drives. And I'm like, what the hell? You walked this far? So they were really from a poor town, and their room, I remember they had 8 kids, and it was like, the room was smaller than this, like where they slept. I was like, that's like abuse. That's weird, right? So they immigrated. I have a half-white sister. She's older than me. My mom was married, and then her husband passed away. So we were kind of this family with like Hapa sister, like half white, half Korean sister. My brother and I'm 7 years younger than my sister. So, and then 2 Korean parents. So it was just like this weird mix, like in Orange County in the early 80s, right? And one thing I loved about my mom was that she was very encouraging, right? So ever since I was a young kid, and I tried to do this with my son, she always told me, you could do anything. You could be the president of the United States. And I'm the only Korean kid in Irvine at the time. Now there's Koreans everywhere. But at the time, I was literally, there was me, Yoshi, and Masa. There was only 3 of us. There were 2 Japanese. I was Korean. And I literally didn't even realize I was Korean. Like, I just didn't understand. I didn't know my sister was half white until I was like 9. Until she told me, in the backyard. I was like, whoa. Whoa, you are, that's weird, right? So, you can tell my brother all these stories, he would know, but yeah, so, but the cool thing about my mom was that she always was like non-traditional. She always said, you know, you could do anything you want. You could be the president of the United States. You know, and this is weird for me to hear, like, okay, whatever, Mom, you know, but, and I was kind of like, you know, the different one in the school, like I didn't look like everyone else, but she was like, she always encouraged me, like, you could be this. They encouraged me to be like a baseball player. I was like, there was no Asian baseball players back then. When I always had this thing, I'm like, when Channel Park, I was like, if he just came out 10 years earlier, I would have had someone I could look up to and go towards, but it was kind of just a dream at that time. But my mom, like, she was really a driving force, and, you know, a lot of the Asian parents back then were doctor, lawyer, right? And be good at math or whatever. My parents were very encouraging. Or my dad was really, right? Hopefully I was laughing like, I feel your pain. Yeah. No, it was like that. It was, you know, but my parents were a little different. My dad got a job with the government early, like right out of college, so his English was perfect, and he, you know, one of the things that was kind of cool is he had a computer early on in the house. So like early 80s, he had worked for the government. He had a computer. I got to see him work on the computer at an early age. I saw programming. He was a programmer for the government, doing some stuff there. And my mom was a CFO for a company, but, you know, broken English and just, you know, trying to get things going. But yeah, I mean, as I got older, I realized, like, you know, I just didn't feel like I was limited. I felt like I could do anything I wanted. And I still feel like that. I feel like, I don't know, whatever. I might not be the smartest guy. I thought I was dumb until like a few years ago. Like, honestly, I was like, I didn't know, right? I just didn't, I feel like I just never looked in the mirror. I just kept going, right? And then I was like, oh, I'm starting to put things together. Like, my brother works at BCG. He's smart, probably. I was like, yeah, but, you know, it's, you know, my mom just, it was kind of like not paying so much attention to my surroundings and just kind of going. And I think my mom encouraging me and not letting me know, like a lot of, to be honest, a lot of Asian parents, I think they're very like critical and very, like, hey, you know, what about them? You know, I remember Moses. That was the only thing, that Moses and the violin. I was like, okay, I'm not good as Moses, whatever. But like, they were kind of like encouraging of me just doing my thing, right? And I think for when I started, I remember there was a pivotal moment. My mom bought me a motif keyboard because I said I wanted to be a producer, a music producer in college. And, you know, that's complete different than doctor, lawyer. It's like, I wanted to do music. And I remember it was $2,000 and I wasn't making money, and she bought it for me. And she's like, do it. And I was like, dang, like, she believes. And just the power of belief, like the power of like, you can do it. You can do it. I'm gonna do this, right? So I was like, okay. So fast forward a little bit, I got an internship at Interscope Records, 2002. And then I remember I met like a handful of people in the industry, like in that department. I was very fortunate to be in the new media division, which was the internet, and it was pretty cool. I got to meet, you know, I was working at Club Mac at the time, selling, like, part-time, selling Apple computers. This is early, like, you know, during the strawberry, raspberry, grape, whatever iMacs they had back then. But I got discounts, so I started, you know, hooking people up at Interscope, and they started taking a liking to me. So like, oh, it's cool. Then they gave me more opportunities, and I started working on little marketing projects here and there. And my mentor, kind of at the time, he was the director of new media. He kind of took an interest in me and kind of gave me more opportunities, and I kind of kept going on that. So the funny thing is, I got a chance to encode like the first 15 to 30 tracks on iTunes, and I didn't know it was iTunes at the time. I just remember sending the CD to Cupertino. I was like, what is this? I know Apple, I work, you know. And a week later it was iTunes. It was like it was just an interesting time at Interscope, right? It was the evolution of a lot of things in the music business, right? So it went from, you know, these musicians and celebrities and all these into digital disruption, and just, to be honest, it like really hurt the industry a lot, and I had to change a lot because it wasn't like what I was used to. So in 2003, I had an opportunity to start my first company, which was, or my second company, but the first one was a marketing company that I was just getting paid. And then I started a company called Deep Fried Productions. And I was like, everything tastes better deep fried, but now I'm getting shit, I'm like, can't do that stuff anymore. But it's like, yeah, I just like did a lot of web development. We ended up taking over pretty much all of Interscope Records, like their roster, all the web development, and, you know, it was cool. Jacob, he's here. He was my right hand guy, and, you know, he basically we built out things for Gwen Stefani, Lady Gaga, Kanye West, Pussycat Dolls, like everyone on the roster, right? So Island Def Jam, just really, you know. I say we got paid to learn. because at the time the internet wasn't that crazy. It was still like GeoCities websites. Like I put on here, it was like the era of, you know, Prodigy. I don't know, does everybody remember Friendster? Yeah, so it was like the Friendster era. It was like Facebook was just coming out, so it was just around that time. And then look, in 2006, I had to kind of pivot because the industry changed. It was, the budgets were going down in the industry, and it was really tough, right? So I had to start looking for other companies to work with. So I did a couple fashion e-commerce sites and kind of got into that industry, and I learned a lot. I said, I mean this, I feel like I got paid to learn, because I didn't know anything about web. I didn't know how to code. I don't know how to do it. I still don't know. Like I brought people together, but I understood, I got to learn the lingo and what was happening at the time. And then around 2006, I started reinvesting in my company. I was like, oh, we could design. We know how to do web development. We could program. Like, this is before like investing and like VCs and all that stuff. I just like, I don't know, I'm gonna invest in my own company, like see if we could make stuff. So I started making little different things. And right around then, I started playing around with this idea of doing a clothing line, because I like clothing. Right? I was like, oh, I use streetwear. So I did a poker-inspired streetwear clothing line called Stack Clothing, and I tried that out, and then started meeting a lot of YouTube influencers. Just because at the time also, YouTube wasn't YouTube. It was 2006, people were just putting videos online. It was a place to put videos on, right? Or put your stuff out to have as a placeholder. So I started meeting a couple people then, and then I wanted to learn how it all, like t-shirts work. So I learned silk screening myself. So we went in there and figured out the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. You could take a message or a brand and put it on a shirt, and people could wear it, and they're spreading your brand. This is interesting. And I just was kind of fascinated with the ability to create something and put it on something like digital, and put it on tangible, like tangible goods, and then people talking about it and the thing organically spreading. So I kind of started learning silk screening there. And then, you guys remember, you know Jeremy Lin? Lin Sandy? So this was kind of a pivotal moment for our company, was, or for me, was like, when Jeremy Lin came out, we were like, oh, we had the silk screening machine, and then he was like our champion, right? Like there was no real, like there was Yao Ming, but he was huge, and you're like, yo, he doesn't look like me, talk like me. I don't relate to him, but he's, you know. But Jeremy Lin was kind of like, he sounded like me, and you know, and I love basketball, so there was a game where he just went off and he stuck his tongue out and he had a blue tongue, and I made this Linsanity shirt, and we put it up before we had the shirts. We had the design and everything, but put it up to see what would happen, and we started selling it. We didn't even know what was going on. It was just a viral phenomenon. Just put it up, got organic traffic, started getting hits. We started selling it, and then we did this on-demand model. So I only printed, because we had a silk screen in our company, like inside the office, along with all these computers, because I still had my design agency. And every order that came in, we would just print the shirt and ship it. We're like, oh, that's interesting. And it kind of worked. We sold a couple $1,000. We're like, this is bigger than anything we did with that clothing line, because it was hard to do that. And you know, that was a big thing for us. And once we figured that out, I had been following direct-to-garment technology for a bit, and when I saw these machines that had the right quality, I jumped on it right away. I was like, this is amazing, let's just get one. I was like, I can figure out how to make money with this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but that goes to my mom again. Like, it kind of, I felt like this fearlessness of just, I think fear is one of those things that you just kind of have to become intimate with, right? It's like, fear is something that really prevents you from doing a lot of things, and it's just get used to it, you know? Like, to be honest, I was like, who am I talking to? I'm like, whatever, I'll just talk, I'll just figure it out, you know? And like, just, that's something that I think my mom, when she encouraged me, was like, just this fearlessness, and just kind of like, hey, you can do it, doesn't matter, just stop looking at everyone else and just focus where you want to go, right? So Barbell Brigade was a really interesting experiment, because I had met these YouTubers, and these YouTube kids, they wanted to start a gym. They're like, we don't like 24-hour fitness. Like, we can't yell, we can't get aggressive there. I'm like, oh, yeah, you probably shouldn't. Like, grandma's he's like, they wanted to build this gym where they can be loud and aggressive, right? And just do what they need to do, you know, listen to their music loud, whatever. And I was like, okay, I knew some, you know, successful business people, like, can you help me raise money or whatever? I'm like, okay, let's try it. Took some meetings and nobody wanted to do it. So I forget, like, I don't have a silk screen machine, you know, and I could do websites, and why don't I just sponsor it? I'll pay for everything, and then up front because my costs were low, and why don't we just raise the money ourselves and I'll help you, right? So we went like third partners on this venture, put that out, and then next thing was, you know, I was like, how much you need to raise? He's like, I think $10,000 would be great. It'd be awesome. And these guys had almost 1 million followers at the time on YouTube. I was like, oh, let's see what happens. Put it up, and then we made $10,000 just the first month. Then the second month we made 10,000. Third month made 10,000. Fourth month, and it kept going. We're like, it's not stopping. This is a good problem. So we just kept it going, but it was by accident. We kind of tripped into it, right? And we just kept it going, right? So that was that. And then the word got out that we were making people money, and that's how Merch Labs started. So that's kind of the beginning of Merch Labs. And, you know, basically, in summary, it was like, did this web development stuff, learned silk screening, then figured out this merch on demand concept. And now today we're kind of figuring out this viral merchandising model where we're kind of paying attention to people with viral energy and kind of viral attention, and how can you leverage that, because they are like the megaphones. So that's kind of the science that we've been building. I don't know if that's inspirational. I'm trying. I don't know. So I basically said, you know, we're the evolution of merch, and this is kind of just summary of my first solo entrepreneur endeavor, DFP, and then internal investments, and then finally Merch Labs. So basically the problem I think I found and why we created Merch Labs, and these are some of the clients that we had worked with in the past, and I've learned a tremendous amount with just working with celebrities and online branding, and Interscope was amazing just for me to learn, to understand online UX and branding and the swagginess of it. Not the, it's like the like, how do you do this but not do it proper, right? But still make it work. So hacking things together. So the person I really help, this is like the avatar is, you know, the rise of social media celebrity. It's like, one, they go viral, right? So these guys didn't go up the ranks like everyone else. They didn't audition, they didn't go through the agency, they didn't get recruited. They literally just put a video up and, you know, Cash Me Outside, how about that? Like all of a sudden, boom, you're like, whoa. So they get hit like with this massive like celebrity, right? And you're just like, what do I do? There's kind of like this, right? Like, okay. Second thing is, well, what direction do I go? What do I do now that I have this opportunity? Should I do this, that? I don't know. There's no book on this. There should be someone that writes one, but it's just not there yet. It's like people are still learning. Kim Kardashian, she probably figured out a lot of it. She's not going to tell everybody exactly what she does, right? So, you know, these people have figured, you know, they're kind of startups on their side. They're figuring things out, and then they eventually want to legitimize it. So the same thing with these guys I was working. They had jobs, and they were making videos, and they're like, should I do this full time? There was no such thing as Ryan Higa, Jenna Marbles, and PewDiePie's back then. This was like, you know, I don't know. So I was meeting a lot of these kind of guys, and really the last thing is, who do you trust? And I say one of my biggest metrics is, it's like time and trust. Can you save time and establish trust faster somehow, right? And I think we're going through this era right now of rapid development. Things are going so fast right now. It's like, can you build the trust faster, and can you save the amount of time to get from A to Z, right? Because there's bureaucracy, argument, blah, politics, whatever, and I almost feel like Interscope taught me, how do you bypass all that, go from here to here really quickly. So what we did was this. So that's basically a summary of a lot of the guys that we work with and some of the things that we do. And our tagline right now is really turn your message into a movement. How do you take your viral energy and the viral attention that you got and turn it into like a movement? So I'm not gonna go into all that because like it's just kind of what we do and all that, but I think the other part of it is just like entrepreneurially how everything came to be, right? So I think the key thing is just right now we've been able to get 200 partners of these social media influencers, and a huge chunk of that is fitness for some reason. So it's like we have these YouTube stars, but it's just funny how everything kind of like goes along, and you know, it's helped build this gym. The gym is doing really well now, and you know, I started working with these fitness guys, and just a quick story, and then the next slide is, so this is what I thought I could at least contribute here is the things that I've learned, right? So before I get into that, so when I started the business, this was about 4 years ago, when my son was born, I was like 208 pounds, and I was drinking a lot. I was drinking maybe half a bottle of whiskey a night. I was just like, man, this, I don't know, at the time I was like, marriage sucks, like this, everything's not working, like they don't get it, like my wife doesn't understand me, my brother was in this other world, right, like corporate side, and I was like more on like the entrepreneur. I was like, he didn't get, no one gets me, I'm all alone. That's what I remember feeling a lot. I just felt very, it's like, I'm working harder than everyone and they think, oh, I'm having fun. That's not right. I'm like, I'm dying here. I'm putting my freaking blood, sweat, and tears in every night. They don't see, like, and you know, the bank accounts are going down, you know what I mean? Like, people are disgruntled, you know, people are fighting. It's just taxing, right? And I'm like this guy, I'm like, and I want to have fun too, right? I want to enjoy the business. I want to go golf. I want to go hang out, but then I'm always worried about everyone else too, you know, like how are they feeling? And that's the constant thing of an entrepreneur, I think, is, or at least I think a good one is, do you really care about your team? And do you care about them like your own family? And for me, I think, you know, like I said, I think my parents, and like I had gone to church when I was young, so I was kind of used to these big groups and organizations and people caring about, you know, big family dinner. I have eight aunts and one uncle. I felt bad for him. He was the last uncle. And I said, like 9 moms. But, you know, I have a big family. So it was like, do you really care? You know, I think that's a big thing with entrepreneurs. Like, is it about the money or is it about the people, right? And I think before, like, because it happened so fast, right? I talked about my transition. It happened so fast that I didn't really, you know, I wasn't really prepared for it. I didn't know if this was going to be a real business. I thought it was more my digital stuff. My brother actually just hit me up. He's like, I'm really proud of you. He's like, I showed him my numbers and everything. He's like, this is, I thought at the time you were getting, like, you had a lack of focus. You should have been focusing on your digital stuff and building apps and all these things. And I was like, I don't know, I just felt like this is where I had to go, right? And it was kind of like, honestly, I was building up a handful of my core team today, and I was spending time with them. Kind of what you guys are doing here. It was cool. I walked in and I was like, whoa, they know how to party. I just went, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? But, you know, I think that it's really important, you know, because like, I try to do that too. I try to do the corporate structure and all that stuff. So it's really good and affirming to me, and learning. I'm learning here. I'm always learning. I'm like, this is great, because it's affirming. Like, we've done certain things like this on a smaller level, but I think building a core, and you know, I heard from a friend of mine. He said, Daniel, you're like the center of this like wheel, right? And you're like managing everyone. And hey, did you do that? Is this good? You have to be motivated. You have to do this and that. This is how it's supposed to be. You're the smartest guy. You're the one that knows everything. You're the one that's gonna fix all the problems. So you got to move from the center of the wheel into becoming one of the spokes. And then the company needs to be the wheel. The company needs the vision, the whatever like you're going towards needs to be the center, right? So, you know, I think that was a hard transition, because, you know, it's like, here I am, like, you know, it's like my kid, like, I don't want to just let him cross the street on his own, like, oh, he's getting old, you know, like, no, it's not good, you know, you want them to be your baby still, right? But businesses evolve whether you like it or not, you know, so I had to change, and I had to, you know, basically the biggest lesson I learned is discipline. That's my boy right here. This is coast of Kauai, and I was like, he just got his black belt after 3 years, so it's pretty cool. I'm a proud dad. I'm like, yeah, you know, Taekwondo, keep the Korean martial arts in the family. But you know, I'm really proud of him because he practices a lot, right? And I didn't realize the importance of structure. So I know this is on operations, like, right? Operations. Mm-hmm. I am curious what's going in your head, because now I'm like, I'm trying to get more structured with my operations, right? Entrepreneurs, we love to, you know, this idea, that idea, yeah, let's try this, right? And I've always heard this like struggle between sales and development, because sales always promising things, coming out with ideas, and development is like, dude, stop. Like, I'm still trying to make the deadline for this thing. And that's me and that's Jacob. So, so he looks tired. No, I know. Jacob's had a lot, like I have a lot of respect for Jacob, probably more than I have respect for myself. But no, it's been a long road. But and he's probably happy about this one, because discipline structure, there's one of the quotes I love from Master Bruce Lee is, long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. I can go for sprints, I can go, you know, and then it's like, no, I can't sustain this. I need to hire someone. It's not true. I had to figure out how to create structure. I had to work nicely with others. I had to not disrespect my finance guy, not disrespect my accounting guy, not disrespect my operational and logistics person. We are all a team. I heard from Will that you guys built like this thing and popped the balloon at the end. It's like the goal, right? It's like, now I feel like our company, we're doing that, and I'm starting to see some massive, you just see the eyes change. It goes from, okay, you're making me do another job, okay, let me just listen to you too. I can do this. I'm building this Lego piece too. Like, oh, this is gonna look like a Millennium Falcon at the end. You know what I mean? Like, but they're creating vision of that, and you know, I think that just like with my son is like creating like this structure allows for predictability and allows people to just be more calm when they come in, right? And one of the things that I remember, like, because I went from friends to business, it was like, it was hard to get guys to come in at, to be honest, like, we were coming in at 10:30, 11, and working late and no structural hours. And I remember it was really tough to just get people to come in at 8 in the morning, and they were mad. They were like, oh, dude. And I was like, dude, we can't do that. Like, we gotta have some structure here. And you know, once it's kind of tough, but once the structure happened for us, at least, it really did help things kind of flow a lot better. So that's one of my big lessons. The other lesson I learned, this is huge for me, less is more. It's not about the time you put in, it's what you put into the time. Like I said, for me as an entrepreneur, I'm like, I want to do everything. I actually hired my mentor after, right? So I brought him in, because I thought, oh, he's an executive, he knows these people, he's gonna just fix things, right? Like, it's, you know, just pop him in, it'll work, right? It's not like that. That just created double ideas, double the entrepreneurial endeavors, double what we should be doing, double more work for him. I felt horrible for Jake. I literally was like, sorry, you know, after it was all over, I was like, okay, I understand. And, you know, I just realized, like, sometimes more when you're growing is just, it'll kill you. It's just, oh, what's that gonna be? It was like, and it just, and then for me on, you know, me being that entrepreneur, is like, I had to like, so it was a thing about like me, like, at the beginning of my having a child and stuff, I was very, I was playing Call of Duty late at night, I was like, talking to kids, like, yeah, what are you doing? You know, like, I'm like, no, you gotta grow up, man. Like, I had to evolve. And, you know, one of it was like, you know, you think that you just need to keep doing things to keep up because that's what everyone's doing. You read those articles and you see all these things, you're like, no, you know, and I learned this from Darren Hardy. He was one of the guys, he's like one of my mentors, but he was like, you know, you just gotta like really focus on the excellent things that you're doing and minimize the things. Like, if you want to be great, you can't major minors. You have to major majors. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a big lesson for me in the business, was how do you cut out things that are unnecessary? So my life now is a lot more disciplined. I rarely drink. I mean, I drink, but like I'll have 2 glasses of wine, if that. You know, I go to the morning. I work out at the gym every single morning now. I have a regimen. My diet's much better. I lost a lot of weight. I don't complain as much anymore. Instead of complaining, I just write my stuff down. And even my marriage has gotten so much better, right? Because I used to blame everything, and I just said, no, I'm just gonna. No one's ever gonna understand. It's you. This is my life, right? Like, so I have to just get better, and that's one thing I've learned is like, stop looking at other people and don't push them. Just pull, like, create gravity, like build yourself so big where they just can't help but to say, oh, what are you doing over there? Like, you've changed. Let your actions speak louder than your words, right? So then you have the history to just back it up, and they just follow, right? So that was a big thing, was just cutting out the extras. And then this is another big one. So this was from Darren Hardy. He says, WTF, and I use this at the company. It's like, what the focus, right? So it's like, it's everybody wants to do everything, right? It's like, sacrifice the good for the great. The enemy of the best is often the good. Like, there's a lot of good ideas. A lot of good things we could do. I have it at my company all the time. Hey, this is good, this is good, this is good. Is it the best? Because we don't have that many resources. And if we do this, we will go broke. We don't have that much money. Should we do this or should we do, and it's hard because you're constantly wanting to get better and improve and get better and improve. But for me, it was kind of like, how do you just be the best at some few things, right? And you know, this was really hard for me because I'm kind of a yes guy. I'm like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. That was, I had to fix that habit, and I finally had to say no, and I pissed some people off, and I try to be nice about it, but now I'm learning like, no, I gotta find a better yes for a weaker no. So that's another thing I've learned. And the next one, this one is one of my favorites. This changed my life. This is, if I was to be inspired by something, it'd be that. Like, I love this picture too. It's just like gangster. It's like, yo, these guys are coming. They're about to do work. You know what I mean? When I go in, I want to be around people that want to do work, right? Like, I don't want people that are just kind of, hey. It's like, no, let's do this, right? And I say, a fool despises good counsel, but a wise man takes it to heart. Like, I was so defensive. Like, I bring up my wife, but the reason why she's so good is because she's such a hater too, right? Like, but you know, she beat me up so much. But like, it's like, what's gonna happen? Either I'm gonna die or I'm gonna get stronger. And over the course of you know, then too, don't do it too hard to your husband. No, but like, you know, it was like, it was taxing. But then I feel like it got me stronger, right? My wife is like, she's probably that. But yeah, you know, good counsel is good. So one of the most pivotal things I've done in my life is I've surrounded myself about 4 or 5 really good friends, right? And older men. I always like, I love, sounds weird, how do I say this right? I don't say I love I feel like I collect I'm collecting wisdom. Right? So one of my best friends, his name's Tony B. He's 74 years old. I went to the gym with him this morning, and I work out with him every day. And I've been working out for three months. This guy presses 260 pounds. 74, man. This is crazy. He's shredded. I was like, you are a walking example of no excuses. No steroids, nothing. This guy's just like, I was like, whoa. So I latched onto him. I was like, I'm seeking wisdom. I look for it. If I can get it anywhere, I look gray hair, I go, whoa. You know, like, hey, let me get there. I love it, dude. I'll take it any way I can get it. One of my other best friends, John Crawford, he founded the band Berlin. I don't know if Berlin, riding on the metro. Yeah, Take My Breath Away?
Yeah.
Top Gun? Yeah, okay. So I play basketball with him. He's one of my best friends. Like, you know, we used to actually talk a lot about marriage. His wife was younger and my wife's older, and we would talk a lot. I'm way younger than him, but you know, he treated me as a friend, and I just learned so much wisdom. Even, it's like they understand, it's like there's snares all around life. There's all these snags, you know what I mean? And it's like these guys help me identify them and get it out of the way before I get caught. Because I almost feel like half the battle in life is just not getting caught in snares. Just avoid that junk. Find wisdom and you're good. Like, that's what I say. Like, ask your mom, ask your grandma. Like, I got wisdom now from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So because I ask a lot of questions of what happened, you know, back in my day. So you guys all complain about 15 people dying. We had 150 people die a day. I was like, okay, Tony, you know, like, that sounds crazy. But, you know, you get to hear different perspectives, and in business, I think you could apply it, and it really does make things more rich, right? It's just, it puts a lot more perspective on it. And then one of my best friends, Todd, this one's great. So he's in his late 40s. I'm 37, so he's in his late 40s, and he has a court reporting business. He's a multimillionaire, and he's helped me a lot because he always says, Dan, you were like this fly by your seat of the pants guy. I want to do this. What should I do? And he's very structured and methodical. I mean, he's from a court reporting business, so it's very like, you know, they're doing whatever they do, but it's like, it's very like, you know, systematic, right? And I learned a lot from him, just being around him, and he leaves the table at 10 o'clock exactly, and even if I'm talking, he'll just pull his keys up and start walking. I'm like, you're rude. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm from LA culture where you're just like, oh, bro, you know, like, that's why I thought things, indefinite meetings and figure it out. He was very structured and organized, and I was like, but just being able to apply things from other businesses, other lifetimes, other eras, other things, it just gives you kind of a lot more character and depth, I think, to your operation. And I think I would highly encourage, if there's, I'm kind of like this Gen X millennial, like, I think it's very wise to respect the elders. That's what I think. I mean, there's a verse I love, and it's like, there's boundary stones for a reason, right? It's like, don't move the boundary stones. They were put there. You might not know why they were there, but it will help you stay on track. And I think that's one of the greatest things to do in life is just stay on the right track. You'll get there. It's going to take time, So with that, the last thing, my biggest thing is evolve. One thing I listen to Gary Vee sometimes, and he said, or someone said it, is like, always you want to be the one to put yourself out of business. Don't let someone else do it for you. And I came with this concept, like, the past is to learn from, not live in. Because, the past is done. Yesterday's yesterday. We have right now today. And today is what we have right here. This is our daily toil. This is like what we do. This is what we should be focusing on, right? And it's kind of cool because I found this picture. This is the first shirt that we made. And it was the first shirt on February 10th, 2012. And it felt like yesterday. I'm like, man, it's been 5 years? Like, this is crazy. But, they say time flies when you're having fun. I guess I've been having fun too. I've taken a light heart about a lot of things. That's one of my biggest things I've learned too, is like, don't get so caught. Life is more than just money and titles. You know what I mean? It's like, I was talking to Will, it's like, I think, so one of the mantra, the mission that we have is to turn your message into movement, but we say supporting the influencers that we believe are changing the world. So so I'll leave with this last thing that kind of motivates me. And there's another slide, whatever. But I was at, the fitness thing was really interesting because I started dieting, right? So the Barbell Brigade guys, they were like, yeah, don't eat carbs. And I was like, you're a madman. I was like, I need rice today and I need bread, right? So I was hangry. I was like, props to my wife for going through all the hangry moments. I was for a year I did that, right? And I lost weight and it was cool. But then I started going to the gym, I started doing these things. And I started seeing, as I started transforming my body and my disciplines, right? Like, just everything, like my mind, the way I thought about things changed, and it felt like I was building instead of chasing. Does that make sense? Like, I wasn't chasing the next fad. I was just like, whatever. That struggle when you're trying to do your last rep. It's like it's like that grit. You're like learning like how to get stronger and more grit. And I'm very fortunate because it's funny. There was two guys I was listening, like going during this transformation. I was listening to Darren Hardy. Like he was the publisher of Success Magazine, and he was kind of like a success coach, and I followed his stuff. And Sean T, I was doing with the Insanity T25 stuff, and we ended up reaching out to them, and somehow we got them. They were two of our partners, and I got to become friends with them. I got to talk to them, pick their brains and stuff. So with Sean T, this was really cool. So he's like, you got to just come out to this thing I call Sean Intervention. And what I do is we bring all these people, not people, women. He has like 99% women fans, right? So it's like a few guys, a lot of women, but they would come and like he's like, you gotta check this out. So I was like, okay. And a lot of them are trying to lose weight. It's the post-pregnancy thing. Like they're trying to get back. And I got to interview a handful because I wanted to get their story and see what was going on. And they were like, there's one girl. She's like, I was depressed. I wanted to kill myself. I was on pain meds. I weighed X pounds or whatever, and I just felt like a loser. I felt like I wanted to just kill myself. I felt like I didn't mean anything. And she started crying on camera, and I'm sitting there, and then she's like, he spoke to me. He spoke to me. And if you go through his DVDs, he's not only giving you fitness, he's saying you can do it, dig deeper, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, like positive words, like speaking words of affirmation and encouragement, like my mom did, right? Belief, like speaking encouragement and belief and instilling that, right? Hopefully that's inspiring. And she, she was crying and she was like, yeah, he just spoke to me and I believed in it, and here I am. She's like, I lost, I don't know, like 80 pounds. It was crazy. She lost a lot of weight. She felt more confident. I think she might have been getting abused maybe by her husband or something, and she felt more confident. And I was like, wow, this thing is really real, man. Like, these guys can really change lives. They're speaking words online and people are following them, and we're building the brand, so we're helping their message, their message turn into a movement. So, that's really kind of, who I am and what we've done. And the last thing, this is just kind of like a little collage of, the activities over the last few years. And, Will had asked me some of the takeaways of what we do. So one of the things is, instead of just jumping into things, I call it think time. Like, let's just think. Let's stop. Stop being busy for the sake of being busy. So just think. We do collective reading, so we do a book club. Oprah does it, I think. Which is good. So we do a collective reading. It was cool. The executive team, we read this book, Lean Startup. My brother gave me, I think, from BCGDV, and we started incorporating all of it into the company, and it helped tremendously. So when you get everyone together, I think that kind of helps a lot. And then we adopted this test and iterate mentality. So instead of making it perfect and paralysis by analysis type of thing, is like, just jump in, just try it. Let's see what happens. Let's say anything. We just tried it, and then it worked. And you iterate on that, and it works. Like pivot, persevere, lean startup, rapid learning, rapid development, validated learning, right? And this was a really cool one. Is like we really became fans of our work. So if you're gonna do something, why not try to fall in love with it, right? Like then you don't really feel like it's work. So once we started like meeting these guys, we start following them, and then we like them. And our guys were all like Jacob's done T25. We all like work out together now, and we look at their stuff and share the knowledge, and it just makes you feel like you're supporting one of your your idols, or your who you look up to. And then definitely fitness and health. We're in front of computers all day, and we're doing that and programming and coding and all these things, and we ended up doing like T25 at the office, doing it together at the house, and then started going to the gym together. And Jacob, and they all work out together, and Jacob I was like, man, this guy's getting like cut up now. But we were coding all day, right? You're in front of a computer. You don't want to like go to the gym. But when you have this group of people that work out together, it's been really, really positive for us. We've done like meal prep together. I put a budget, and one guy would cook meal prep for the whole office, and we just eat together. But then there was the hangry phenomenon, which sucked. Everyone's on ketosis, like they're hitting their that stage. So, and then change it up. This is a good one. Like sometimes I go to the office, I'm like, okay, we're gonna stop and let's just move all the furniture. Let's change it. Let's stop. I don't like things being stagnant. So we start moving desks around, tables around. Let's change, like just evolve. And then the last thing I love a lot is this gamification and play. It's like I try to make any opportunity I can to make it fun and turn it into a game. So like bonuses and like I come from a video game back, Call of Duty. I was like, point systems and stuff like that. Like, so if you could kind of make it a challenge and you kind of adopt that kind of method and just try to make it as fun as possible. You're gonna spend 8, 10, 12, 15 hours at your job sometimes, It's like, how can you make it fun instead of work? It's a brain tweak, you know what I mean? Like, how do you make it a mission instead of, this is something I have to do and I hate doing it? It's like, no, this is something fun, and there's a vision, and there's a goal. So at the end of my thing, I just, thank you for listening, and hopefully I've kind of contributed some inspiration. But I think the key thing is, like I would say, like back to the beginning when I talk about my mom, is like, be encouraging, speak, believe. The power of belief is so strong. Like I'm watching it, I've got 3 friends that one of them was like, he wasn't going to do anything with his life. I was like, yo, you're graduating, you live at your mom's house. What are you doing with your life? You're smart. And I would just keep telling him, like, I believe in you. You're smart. You're amazing. You speak positive things into people. Amazing things happen. So you could be a jerk and say, you can't do it. And then, you might get results. But then another way is like, just encourage it, grow it, long term. Shortcut, short-lived. You know what I mean? Long term, not only will you build a great team, but you build a great friendship and relationships, and that lasts forever. That's beyond this stuff. So, thank you. If you have